In this tutorial we'll be fixing up the enemies and add some intro movies and outro movies to the game. We had only one sprite for the enemies and there were two of them. So we'd like to add a different color at least to one of them. Make him a purple rat. And we'd like to see that purple rat be different from his brother in the same level. So we got a purple rat and we got another purple rat. And that's because the naming convention for enemies starts from 1. So we have 0 and 1 and everyone's using the 1 sprite. So what we want to do is stop and rename one of the rats to 2. And the other one can be kept to 1. Now if we restart the level, we're going to see different colored rats. They both have the same logic, but at least each enemy is unique. So whenever an enemy is added, it will use the sprite with the corresponding number, starting from 1. Now that the rats are done, we should try and add some intro and movies. This puppy is not good. We'd like to add some images with text, and the naming of these images does not matter that much, but I do have a naming convention. So it's movie 1 frame 1, which should be on top, followed by movie 1 frame 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. And at the end of the game we just have 1 frame and it's going to be called M2. Again, the ordering does not matter, but it helps you keep tidy and makes it easier to handle. We would also like to play some sounds for M11. Meaning a sound should start playing when that frame is shown. And the medieval sound is nice. We should also probably fade it out at the end to make it all seem a bit more natural. And we have to rename the sound to M11, which is the name of our first frame, so when that frame is shown, immediately the music will start playing. So M11, and the sound M11 will start playing at the same time, and when the next frames show up, it's going to keep playing. I'd like to add a song for the end of the game. Let's try Medieval 2. It should be named M2. If it's at the end, because that's the name of the frame. And it sounds kind of gloomy, so I think we're gonna have to pick something more lively. Much better. And again, we should fade out the end, make everything neat. We rename this to M2 so that it matches the end frame. And we write a list of movie frames which we'd like to play out. The first movie, it's 1 at 01. And the first frame which should play is M11 and the corresponding sound. And this should last for 0.66. But because the sound is longer than the frame, it will continue playing through the next frames. And here I put some durations, which means M12 will take 2 seconds to show, M13 will also show for 2 seconds, M14 is a bit longer, so we'd like to see it for 3 seconds. In the end, all these numbers and durations should add up to the 9.66, which is the duration of the medieval song, which starts playing at M11. And at the end, we'd also like to add a movie 2, and it should take about 9:58 or 9:63 for the second song to play. And now when we start playing the game, the movie should start playing, and we can skip it by pressing space, and we can hear the music. We can mute the music by pressing M. We can change those durations in the movie to have a frame hang around more. And we can mute the sound in game as well. So we got sound effects, we got different enemies. And we forgot to add the end movie frame. So in the movie list description, we only added the duration. So after at 02, we need to add the name of the frame which we want to play, which is M2. And we want M2 to play with its corresponding sound for 9.63 seconds. Now it should play out correctly. We'd also like to add a title frame, and this title frame will be shown at the start, but whenever you pause the game by pressing the red button, it's going to remain stuck there. So if you want your game to look nice in the scratch screen, just start the game and stop it immediately, and the title screen should be the main image people see when they access your game. So save it with the title screen on. After the title screen, the movies should start playing. Story about a swordsman who lost his cat and went searching for her, and of all the rats he's going to encounter. And the rats follow him everywhere. They chomp him up. And he can power up using weapons since he's a swordsman, and he can pop them off. And he can fall into the abyss if he's not careful. Again. And let's take care of that rat. Pop. And now he found the cat, and the game is over. And lived happily ever after. That's it.